Hello, Chris Brasure. Let's talk about 3 things that you need to know if you're considering suing somebody because of a brain injury, whether for you or a loved one. Those 3 things are: who's responsible? Can you prove that that person's responsible for the injury? And 3, what is it going to cost, and what are the damages from that injury? Now let's break them all down, because we have clients come to us all the time, or potential clients come to us all the time, and we have to break these down before we, as we're evaluating the case and before we can accept the case. So I thought I'd do something similar here for the group. The first, someone is responsible. And I've said before and posted before about the most common causes, and those are falls, motor vehicle accidents, and somebody like striking their head against an object like at work. Now, when let's say that these things happen, it's not enough that they just happened, obviously. There has to be somebody who violated a rule or a duty that they owed. For example, a motor vehicle crash. Somebody runs a red light, they're supposed to stop and they don't. That's pretty easy and straightforward. But in some cases, people are not aware that doctors have to perform up to a certain standard of care. And if they don't, then just by way of our example, if the doctor does something that causes an injury, like a brain injury, then that doctor or that hospital or that medical provider may be responsible, just by way of example. So if you prove that somebody is responsible for failing to act in a certain way, the second thing that's important to know is you have to prove that the action caused the brain injury. And there's a lot of litigation about this, and a lot of the cases we handle, this becomes a big issue. For example, like the motor vehicle crash that I've mentioned before. Well, was the impact from the crash enough to cause a brain injury? And that's an important thing to know, and an important thing to find out as you're evaluating whether or not you can sue somebody and win in court. The third one I want to talk to you about is, what are the damages, as lawyers call them, meaning what will it take to properly care for somebody in the future? And that's an important component, particularly for traumatic brain injury cases, because the needs are so different for each person that has a brain injury, and the needs can get very expensive because the amount of care that's required over a long period of time. So for example, if you have an elderly person that falls and their life expectancy is maybe 5 to 10 years, that's going to be different than a baby or a young child who suffers a traumatic brain injury and needs care for the rest of their life. So I hope that's helped in your in our group, in your evaluation of whether or not you think you or your loved one may have a claim. If you have any questions, feel free to message me or just post in the group, and I hope you stay safe and healthy. Thank you.